Peace and welcome. Today we are taking a look at the NES and its 5 channels of audio. First, we'll have a brief explanation of the 5 channels and their functions, then we'll have a few examples. So let's get this underway. Anyone who makes music already knows 5 channels isn't much at all. However, that's what the NES is capable of. Today we will use the Castlevania 3 theme titled Mad Forest. First up, we have the first 2 channels. Channel 1 and Channel 2 are pulse wave. These are the main 2 channels. This is where you will find the melodies. The first channel lays a foundation and the second channel layers with it. This is how most, if not all, of the music on the NES appears. These 2 channels are identical in every aspect. Great for creating depth in the music. Channel 3 is a triangle wave. This channel is either on or off. There's no volume control. This means you cannot fade in or out. The notes can be pitch altered, however, so you can use different tones. This channel is commonly used for bass lines. Channel 4 is the noise channel. This is a great channel for percussions. It seems like 90% of the tracks on the NES use this for hi-hats and snare drums. A quick noise is good for hats, and a slower noise is good for snare drums. You can play around with it and use it for other sound effects, such as explosions or gunfire, or maybe even a car or motorcycle. Channel 5 is a PCM-capable audio channel. This just means you can use a WAV file as a sample. You will have to compress the WAV file quite a bit because storage back then was quite limited. NES games can be around 256 to 512 kilobytes, meaning you have basically no room for a CD-quality WAV file. One infamous sample from the NES comes from Ghostbusters. Now this is a sample that has been compressed to death. Here's a quick example of a high-quality WAV file and a compressed file.
Ghostbusters! Ghostbusters!
The first uncompressed WAV file is 512 kilobytes, and as we stated earlier, some NES games can reach up to 512 kilobytes. You cannot have a 2-second audio sample be equal to the size of the full game. And to top it off, this Ghostbusters game totals 64 kilobytes. Obviously, this needs some compression. So after shrinking it down, we are left with a file that's now 16 kilobytes. 1/4 of the game is a 2-second audio sample. It needs even more compression. This shows you just how much compression was needed. And quick shout out to Quantum for providing the audio sample. This 5th channel can also be utilized in different ways. You could sample a piano, a sound effect, or even a bass note. One example of a sampled bass line comes from Fester's Quest, the overworld theme. It's a single bass note sample, and it has been pitch altered again and again to create a full bass line. The quality is quite low, but when blended into the full theme, it kind of covers it up. Many composers use this fifth channel for percussion samples to make drums sound more realistic. A compressed drum sample mixed into a full theme is a lot harder to notice lower quality than a vocal sample that plays by itself right at the beginning of the game. Now keep in mind, when making music for the NES, there will be sound effects during gameplay. So you need to do one of two things. Either leave a channel open during gameplay, such as stage themes or boss themes, or expect the music to drop a channel while a sound effect plays. You may have been playing a game, and for example, every time you jump, a certain portion of the music cuts out. This is because the music utilized all 5 channels, and the sound effect had to override one to be heard. In my opinion, this is why title screen music and end credits music are so good. These themes do not play during gameplay, so they don't need to save any channel for sound effects. There's no jump sound, no explosion, or any other sound effect. All 5 channels are dedicated to producing music, and I think it really shows. Some of the best tunes on the NES are title screen themes. One example of a title screen theme that takes advantage of all 5 channels comes from Dr. Mario. So there you have a quick explanation of the 5 audio channels on the NES. There were some chips released that can add additional channels, such as Konami's VRC6 and VRC7. VRC6 adds an additional 3 channels for a total of 8, which adds a significant amount of depth to the music. Although these were quite underutilized. VRC6 was only used in 3 games, and if you think that's bad, VRC7 was only used in 1. VRC7 produces a total of 6 audio channels using the Yamaha YM2413 sound chip. It was a popular chip, and one of the more popular usages was on the Japanese model of the Sega Master System. So in a way, this is an NES game with a Master System soundtrack. More sound chips do exist. Most of them add a few channels or change the sound. However, we just wanted to explain the main 5 channels. With that being said, I want to give a huge shout out to our gold level patrons, Bearsona and Quantum X. I am ICC. Thanks for watching. Peace.